Welcome to the Books Between Friends podcast.
3 lifelong friends,
one shared obsession.
Books.
From epic fantasy to page-turning thrillers.
We dive into the stories we love
And the ones we just can't stop talking about.
So take a seat,
Grab a drink,
and get cozy. Hey, book friends. Welcome back. What have you guys been up to? How's your weekend? For me, I don't want to talk about my weekend. I had a migraine all weekend, so I did nothing basically. But I have a funny story for y'all that I've been wanting to tell y'all, and I keep forgetting to tell y'all. So about 2 weekends ago, my mom invited me to some prayer group, and I, for some reason, went. And
for some reason.
I usually don't go. Like, she invites me all the time.
Yeah.
And this time, I don't know. I went.
It's not your thing.
Yeah. All 4 prayers, just my mom's prayers group sometimes. Anyways, that's not the story. So when I got there, they were all already there. And these are all people from her church, Hispanics, Catholic. And she introduced me as Dr. Ramirez, right?
Yay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And so they all start asking me all these medical questions.
Oh my God, of course.
Oh. It's like the Friends scene.
Wrong kind.
And so my mom was like, oh no, she's not, medical, or she's not a doctor that way. Like, she was trying to explain that I was a doctor in education, and she was trying to explain what a PhD was. And it was so quiet. You could hear like a needle drop because they had nothing to say to that. And I just felt so embarrassed. It was just so awkward. I'm like, please, let's get the attention away from me. Please, let's talk about something else. It's just, honestly, it's funny. At the moment, it was awkward, but it's really funny because like, they don't know. They don't know what a PhD is,
It's not something that exists in their culture.
Exactly. So. It's not super common. So like, I didn't get upset with them. I was just more frustrated, or not frustrated. Like, I felt awkward. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. And I was like, Mom, can you start praying, please?
Anyway, moving on.
For real, like, how do you change that subject in a prayer group? Like, so what did you sin this week? Like, it's time to tell me.
Yeah.
Like, let's get,
talk about
I'm
it.
a doctor, and move on.
So that was my story. I was just like, oh my God, I have to tell them. Like, this is so funny. But also, what do you do at that moment? Like, not an MD doctor.
Yeah, I would probably react
with your
the same way as you.
Yeah. Because, with like other people who know about it, all you have to say is, oh, not MD, just PhD. And they get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, anyways. What about you guys? What have y'all been up to?
Okay. Is it completely materialistic that what's keeping me kind of in a cozy vibe these days is a cup of coffee?
Oh.
Like, and it's like
That's
a specific
not materialistic.
cup of coffee.
That's not at all. Coffee's bliss.
Yeah.
It truly is. So we've invested in the pour over system, and there is a specific coffee that I really enjoy, and it's not from the Dallas area. It's from the Houston area, and they don't, like, you can't put an online order and they won't deliver. So you actually have to go there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're that good?
It's
They're probably just so small.
Oh, okay. True.
Yes, and they're not known for their coffee. They're known for their Mexican food because it's a restaurant, and they just happen to have a beanery, where they, do all the beans.
Gotcha.
So they roast their own coffee?
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yes, and it's good, and it has just like a slightest hint of cinnamon.
Ooh,
and it's
I love that.
So, like, it's so good, and I will drink it just black. And so if you're in the Houston area and you don't know Guadalupana, you need to go and get their coffee and their food, but their coffee.
Okay, so Steph, next time you go, pick me up one, please.
Yeah. We'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yes. It's worth just to go just for the coffee, honestly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds really good, yeah.
Well, we went up to Oklahoma City this weekend to visit with some friends.
Yay.
And my husband, not me, ran a 5K with them. I was on the sidelines for support.
Yep.
Yes.
If y'all know me, y'all know I'm not a runner. But yeah, it was fun just catching up with them. We hadn't seen them in a while. It's so crazy. They used to live in Dallas and they moved up there like 4 years ago. And we went and saw them when they first moved in, and we hadn't been back since then. And it's crazy how time flies.
Yes.
So it was nice to finally get up there again.
I know, that's awesome. Because I remember the last time that I saw them was at your wedding, and that was
That was
right
about
before
four
they
years
moved.
ago.
Yeah, that was right before they
Yeah,
moved.
that's so
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
I know.
And also, I had to share here because we went to this really cool bookstore. I forgot what it was called already. Circle. So what's funny about
Oh,
this bookstore,
Oh,
it's like this big bookstore attached to a mall. So like on the opposite end of the bookstore when you walk in, there's like a mall, but there's like not a lot going on in that mall. It's one
yeah.
of those like nearly dead malls, but the bookstore
uh-huh.
itself is really cool. But I saw this book in the horror section
Oh,
and I judged the book by its cover, but I'm
Yes, love
super
it.
excited about this. It's called Gothic Asian Ghost Short Stories.
ooh, that
And
looks
check
like
out that
a
cover.
really cool cover. I love that.
So
Okay.
it's an anthology of ghost stories from Asian cultures,
That
like
is really
around
cool.
Asia, like different
Yeah.
parts of Asia. So Korea, Japan, the Philippines. I'm super excited about it.
I love that.
I love that too. Yeah. All right, book friends. Well, welcome back to our deep dive where we're currently reading On Wings of Blood by Briar Boleyn. This is our final episode on this four-part series, but before we get started, I'm going to pass it over to Steph for a quick PSA.
That's right, you guys. So, quick spoiler warning if you are reading, or not reading, listening to this episode, we're assuming that you've finished the book On Wings of Blood by Briar Boleyn because there are going to be spoilers throughout for the whole book. So, if you haven't finished reading, go ahead and do that before you come back and listen. And then, before we move on, I also want to just give a quick call out. If you are enjoying our podcast and listening to our discussions, please, please, please help us out and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us connect with more readers and listeners, and it helps other book nerds find us and join our community. And we'd absolutely love to give you a shout out on an episode.
Yes, please.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, guys. So before we get into our three, two, one, I'm going to give a quick summary on what happened in these last 15 chapters. So, in the days leading up to the consort games, Blake becomes increasingly focused on Medra, even ensuring her safety when he finds her sleepwalking and returning her to the first year tower. At the same time, tensions rise as the consort games approach. Professor Rodriguez confronts Medra about her lack of focus and hints at a hidden legacy tied to dragons and riders, urging her to survive the games to learn more. Medra later meets Blake in secret, where he offers to help her survive the games in exchange for her trust. She ultimately agrees and drinks his blood, gaining temporary access to his abilities. In return, Blake reveals a dangerous secret. Aenia is not truly his sister, but a Blightborn that he turned into a high blood, an illegal act that could result in both their deaths if discovered. As the games begin, Medra is dragged in place at a disadvantage, but with the effects of Blake's blood, she gains enhanced strength and resistance to thrall weaving. She survives multiple challenges, including an ambush from Regan and her allies, and is forced to kill Naveen, who was transformed into a monstrous creature after realizing he was taken as part of the Crown of Bones manipulation. Following the games, Medra and Florence grieve Naveen's death while disciplinary hearings are held where Headmaster Kim questions the actions and rules broken by Blake's triad and the consort games. Blake dissolves his betrothal to Regan after exposing her actions, and Medra is spared punishment for her actions during the games. The bond between Medra and Blake deepens, though it remains conflicted as both acknowledge their growing connection. Meanwhile, political tensions escalate with Victor and Marcus taking interest in Medra due to her potential power. On selection day, Medra and Vaughn are assigned to House Dracarys, while Florence is placed in House Avari. Blake tries to reassure Medra that he chose Florence for his house, but now there's nothing he can do. At the end of the term, Medra meets Blake in the Dragon Court, where Blake forcefully drinks from Medra, making the bond complete. Blake tells Medra that since she drank his blood and he drank her blood, their bond is complete and he can only feed from Medra now. Their confrontation is interrupted when the Dragon Court begins to collapse, revealing a hidden dragon beneath the stone. Medra unknowingly completed a ritual that awakens Nyxaris, a dust drake of House Avari. Although she attempts to form a bond with him, Nyxaris refuses, explaining that she has freed him, but he will not serve her. He instructs her to conceal the truth and claim control if necessary before departing. The events leave Madra facing the consequences of awakening a dragon and the growing power struggle surrounding her. Okay, so let's get into our 3, 2, 1. 3 things that stuck out to us. Steph?
Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about came in chapter 48 when Blake and Medra were meeting at the Dragon Court, and Blake gave her a vial of his blood before the consort games. And then he also told her the truth about Aenea. And he said that he would give her a secret that would help her in the games. But I didn't really understand how that would help her. Like now she knows this secret, but it didn't really come up again. Like, did I miss something or like can y'all explain what that was about?
Yeah, so he didn't tell her that secret to help her in the games. He told her that secret to get
To
her
give
to
her
agree.
dirt
Yeah,
on him.
exactly. It was to get her to agree to take the vial of his blood. So basically, like, here's a secret that could get me killed. Use it as you will, but can you please at least let me help you?
Like putting
Okay.
something on the line so she'll have more trust in what he's actually saying, that it's truthful.
Yeah. But it wasn't supposed to, like, the secret itself wasn't supposed to help her in the game. It was just so that she could have something over him.
Yeah, and I don't know
Okay.
if it's that much of a help to her, period, because I was thinking about
Right.
it and I was like, what is she supposed to do with that information? Even if she were to tell someone, who would believe her
Right.
first, because she's a Blightborn, or that's
Right.
how they see her at least. And, like, she's not looked upon as this, like, even Blake towards the end still really doesn't see her as any kind of equal.
Yeah.
No.
And so I don't know what she was supposed to do with that information other
Right.
than, like, I know something about you.
Yeah, I was just like confused by that situation because
Yeah.
I mean, she was going to take it because it was her only shot at surviving the games at that
Yeah.
point. So,
Yeah.
what was the point of this secret?
I mean, I don't think there was a huge point. Like, I get what he was trying to do, but I agree with Ethan. Like, what was she supposed to do with that? He knew she wasn't
Yeah.
going to turn him in. And then she also called him out for doing that, too. She was like, you're just trying to unburden yourself with this truth by telling me now. And now you're involving me
Yeah.
because now I know.
Yeah, like it would hurt her more if the secret came out
Yeah.
and people found
Yeah.
out that she knew.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, Blake. Okay. And then in chapter 57, Cage Tanaka told Medra that he could sense a change coming. And then later on, when the dragon woke up, it was Nyxaris from House Savari. That is Cage's house. So I wonder, this is like a kind of a little bit of a theory. I'm not sure if like there's really any merit to it, but I wonder if that's why Cage could sense something, because apparently like several chapters ago, whenever Medra said that spell to try to remove Orcades' soul from her,
Yeah.
it was right next to the statue of Nyxaris, and that's why it worked on him. So I wonder if that's why he could sense that he was coming back. That was, I mean, what did y'all think of that?
What do you think, Ethan? And then I'll share.
So, okay, as
Okay.
as you're saying, so Orcades is one of my points later.
Okay.
And so I'm not going to give too much on it, but just what you're saying automatically made me start thinking in my brain about the potential for Orcades' character and Nyxaris' character. So there's something there, but this kind of threw me off. One, because
Okay.
it's not like the dragon reveal that I was kind of hoping for.
Yeah.
But also, like, I too thought very similarly. I was like, that's probably like maybe why he's feeling something, or maybe just Avari is more in tune with those kinds of mystical
Yeah.
matters. But yeah, it seems like he was sensing something was off, and that's a good idea, that it could be the reason why that his dragon associated with his house is awakening.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know if these two things are tied together, but when I, like, as you were saying your point, Stephanie, I was thinking about, I think it was like back in our second episode when we talked about vampire lore for
Yeah.
this book in particular. I know that each house has like special abilities, but it hasn't been touched on. So like I
Okay.
For
wonder,
Dracarys.
yeah, so I wonder if like maybe it's tied to that, where like, you know, each house can sense their dragon, as you said,
Whatever their special
but also
ability.
whatever their special ability is. Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
something real quick side note here is for vampire lore, like you just mentioned, going back to your first point, Steph, something that we should probably mention if people are following along with us, is that in this story, if you haven't been reading it, Ania is not Blake's sister necessarily. She's his daughter because
Well,
No.
his creation?
Yeah, his
his
creation is
creation, but
better.
Medra refers to her as his child
Right.
at some point,
Kinda,
and
yeah.
so but he created her because he turned her. She was
Right.
not
Right.
originally a vampire, and so with that comes the idea that you either stay sane or you don't. It's like a 50-50 chance. And so we're witnessing Ania kind of going into the insane route because she's becoming more sadistic with her killings
Yeah.
and her feedings.
Yeah. Great point to add to our little vampire lore. Yes.
Yeah.
Lore bite.
Okay, and then my third thing that I wanted to bring up was so in chapter 60, this is the last chapter where Nixaris wakes up, and he tells Medra, "You performed a ritual meant to end soul binding, yes, and to return a soul to life, and now I'm awake." So again, I've been on this whole theory about Victor using soul binding and this kind of like darker magic ever since Professor Wispwood mentioned in chapter 21 that that's the domain of House Dracarys. So I'm wondering if he did this to all of the dragons because they've mentioned several times that he's like the oldest vampire and the strongest vampire. And so even though the dragons have been gone for it seems like a while now, it's possible that they've been gone for, like they were around within Victor's lifetime. So what if Victor was the one who got rid of them? And if maybe he did it this way?
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
I also noticed that so Blake fell to the ground and was like unconscious for a bit whenever Nixaris woke up because stones were like falling all around them.
Right.
And then when they were talking, he looked over Midra's shoulder and like said something like, if I wanted to kill you, I would have killed you by now, especially that one, and pointed to Blake. So I wonder if like he has some particular dislike for House Dracarys for some reason.
Or maybe
Oh,
just
that was a good call.
a particular dislike for everyone that tries to control him.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of a good segue into my first point that I wanted to bring up is the interaction between Rodriguez and Medra
Okay.
when he was calling her out for turning in a shitty assignment over the dragons that he gave to her basically at the beginning of the school year, and she turns
I
it in
know.
here at the end of the year, asks for extension after extension, and it's still a shitty assignment.
Yeah.
And so, like, my teacher heart took over. I was like, oh, Rodriguez, no, fail her, flunk her.
Right. Thank you.
Yes.
Like, why would you give her an extension to begin with? Like, clearly she's not taking this seriously.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, they call you a dragon rider. Why are you not more invested in finding in the dragon rider history?
Thank you.
Right. Understanding this.
It's pretty central to your plot, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
I was so frustrated with how
Plot
she just kept dismissing everything. And then when she finally like saw Nixari, she's like, maybe I should have paid attention to boo. I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You think?
Maybe you should have done that.
Yeah. So I'm totally with Rodriguez on that one. But what was interesting was the fact that he was asking her about what she might have learned in the context of dragons with
Yeah.
what she did with the ritual. And which means he was thinking that she was intending to release the dragon, or that's at least what I'm assuming with her
Right.
question. So what else does Rodriguez know? He mentioned that his family in particular is tied to dragons in some form or fashion. And I want to know what that is, because I thought this little conversation that they had was interesting. As short as it was, he was totally asking, like, what do you know about dragons? Do you know something? Like,
Right,
what,
yeah.
what do you know?
Like,
So I
what
just
did
thought it
you
was interesting.
learn? Yeah.
What I thought was interesting with this whole, there's actually two things I found interesting with this whole conversation. What I thought was interesting was that he said that this could have helped her in the consort games, but
Right.
now because she obviously didn't put enough effort in, he wasn't going to tell her. Like, what do y'all think that information could have been that would have helped her in the consort game? Because I kept thinking back to
Mm.
that because I was like, as I was reading the consort games again, I was like, how could her knowledge of dragons have helped? Unless it had to do with her dragon rider blood, because remember she talked about how her blood and how Blake's blood kind of mixed in to give her like this super strength, basically.
Right.
Is that,
But
do y'all think that's what it was?
I thought that her drinking his blood gave her the effects that any other Blightborn would have gotten from drinking vampire blood.
Yeah, but she made like a small mention that
Not
said,
necessarily.
she was like, I can feel my dragon rider blood mixing with Blake's blood. And then said something about how like that
Okay.
gave her these like different abilities or something. I was like, is that what Rodriguez meant? Like, I didn't get what he meant by that. So I
Yeah.
was intrigued by that whole thing. And
And that's
then I
another
was
thing
in,
where I'm like, why aren't we being straightforward with her?
I know
Like,
nobody's telling her
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
yeah, at all. Obviously, they want her to bring back dragons. That's why they're keeping her around and trying to keep her safe and control her. But no one's actually helping her do this. Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, and then the other thing, I actually kind of like this, but he basically called her out for being complacent. And I was just like,
Hmm.
yeah. He said, I would have thought that you, of all people, would have been most eager to learn everything you could about dragons, but instead you act as if you actually care about your other classes, as if you're taking all of this bullshit seriously. I thought you didn't even want to be here. I don't
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
Professor Rodriguez though. Like one minute I feel like he's her ally, and on the other I feel like he's
Yeah.
against her.
Well, the idea of testing her metal seems to be a recurring theme here because
True.
that's when you say it that way, it makes me think that he's testing her for some reason to test what she's really made of. And because Blake said the same exact thing when he had Visha attack her during that
Right.
class. And so maybe that's what this is. I don't know.
Well, okay, that reminds me that in that same conversation, Rodriguez also told her that some people say when dragons and riders were around that they actually ruled
Yes, I
rather
remember
than
that.
vampires.
Yep.
And so I wonder if he's kind of being not so forthcoming and withholding too much information while he decides whether or not she can be trusted.
Whether she's
Because
worthy.
right, because if that means as the only dragon rider and now there's a dragon in this world, she could potentially take control. Like he's probably still unsure whether or not he can trust her with that amount of power, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah.
if that is the case.
I mean, that's interesting though. I think that you're
Yeah.
right. Like I completely forgot about that part too. There's a lot of small hints around the book that you really have to pick up on to kind of piece
Yeah.
together yourself, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So my second point, we have dragons.
Yay!
And I can't remember who it was. It was one of the three of us, but we mentioned that maybe the dragon statues could actually be the dragons themselves.
I think it was you, Ethan.
Was it?
I
mean,
think.
I don't
kudos to
remember who
whoever
said
it was.
it.
Yeah.
Because even if it was just some kind of flippant statement, like it's happened. They are
Yeah.
these statues are like actual shells of dragons, and so when we've been getting these tremors, it's because Nyxaris was waking up. And I don't know. I wonder how much the dragons are going to be involved and in what way, if this is how dragons are treating Medra already out of the gate. He was like, you're cute. Get the hell out of my way. I'm leaving.
Yeah. He was like, let me stop
And-
you right there.
Yeah. Like, like, and she wouldn't stop. She
Yeah.
wouldn't shut up. She kept on going. But also Nyxaris mentioned that he
Medra.
wouldn't fall for that again
Yeah.
by becoming a writer's dragon. So again, this is just another reason why I'm upset with Medra for not doing her damn homework, because I figure maybe she might know some inkling as to why Nyxaris might have that reaction.
Exactly.
Right.
Maybe Victor is involved with that, or maybe someone from House Dracarys was his writer and helped turn him into stone, or something like that.
Yeah.
What else is out there? Can we wake up these 3 other bitches up and get their input, please?
Like, hello, Medra.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, get on it.
So Ethan, you said that the dragon reveal wasn't what you expected. Like, what were you expecting?
I was like, won't you be my writer today? Yeah. I mean, that's what I was hoping for.
Sorry.
Like Aragon, but that's not what happened here. And it was probably, it wouldn't have fit the vibe anyway.
I was going to say, I'm like, look at the world they live in.
It's not that kind of book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have turned out that way.
Yeah.
I was also a little disappointed with the dragon reveal just because I wanted it to happen much sooner and
Right.
not like at the very end of the book. But
Yes.
But yeah, I agree that there's no other way it could have gone for Medra, especially like seeing how
Unworthy.
she behaved as soon as it happened. Using the words of other writers from like the history books that she read. I mean, let's try something else. Let's be unique.
Yeah.
And I was like, what a non-Medra like moment. Like that it didn't fit her really. Like that would have fit Violet to me because she's the historian.
Oh yeah.
True.
But not Medra. She's so in the moment,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was a great reveal. I liked it.
Okay. Well, yay. Love that. Okay, my third point here is the consort games. Y'all, what the hell? I don't know what these were. What these were supposed to be. I feel like this was a huge build-up for a short, half-assed version of the Hunger Games.
Yeah, barely. And then like the biggest trial that she actually faced wasn't even an official trial. It was just Regan and her squad of skanks. Like that wasn't an official trial.
No, but can we officially confirm that Regan is Regina George? One of her cronies is named Gretchen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Briar Boleyn, if you were inspired, like it feels like this is very Mean Girls coded, and I love that if you incorporated that on purpose. Love it.
I do love that too.
A fantastic millennial Easter egg.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not upset with the results of these consort games because this ended up with the end of Blake's triad with Medra and Regan. That gets dissolved.
Thank God.
Regan, right? Regan, in my opinion, gets her just desserts here.
Yes.
I do love her her airtime in the book.
Yeah.
Regan is fun. I'm loving the drama that comes along with it all during that fiery meetup in the headmaster's office.
Yeah, that was good.
Yes, that was good. But yeah, what even were these games? I don't even know if I really know their purpose because it didn't seem long enough to get any kind of good results. It seemed like it caused a whole lot of chaos for how short it was. And poor Naveen.
Oh, I know.
Someone explain to me this crown of bone. I don't understand.
So
from what I understand, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The way I read it, it's that they use it on Blightborn to force them to reveal their true loyalty. And so they used it on Medra and put her face to face with Naveen and Florence and made her choose between the two.
Yep.
And so she chose Florence, I guess, as her best friend.
Yeah.
Meaning then Naveen was the one on the chopping block.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
That's gross. Okay.
And they only use it on Blightborns, which is even worse.
Right.
This is very like how one might treat a ska person, in my opinion, which it's pretty dark for this
From the
book.
Mistborn trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, from Mistborn, sorry. That's pretty dark for this book when this book has been dark, sure, but not like Naveen was completely innocent here. Like
yeah.
it was really like that's sad. Like, yes, he was failing in school because that's what he tells Medra. He's like, I'm failing these classes, and that's like a big deal here. It has more consequences than you might find at any other academy.
Yeah.
But you fail your classes, so you're going to die. Even though I know the crown of bone was used, and that's where a lot of this is coming from, but still.
Well, and also, I don't understand the point of this other than to be cruel, because
Right.
from what, like, I understand what the crown of bone does, but I would think that the High Bloods would want to use that to ensure a Blightborn's loyalty to one of the four houses. Using it in this way is just like cruelty for cruelty's sake. Why would I understand Regan requesting that? She was allegedly the one that requested it being used on Medra, but I don't understand like Headmaster Kim agreeing to this just to be mean, like to play along with Regan's Mean Girl games. I don't get that.
Okay, so I agree. I feel like this whole Crown of Bone plot, piece of the plot, whatever, was unnecessary because who was it that said, Regan made the comment that said that like all the people who fail get turned into those creatures either way. So with or without the Crown of Bone, Naveen was going to turn into one of these creatures. So I just felt like that part was kind of unnecessary, besides putting the blame on Maedra, because she obviously feels guilty for having to choose Florence over Naveen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought that it was unnecessarily cruel, as you said. Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah. I didn't catch that part, that he was going to get turned into one either way. But why?
That's what Regan said. They said that they do it to all of them. Yeah. Well, I mean, in a sense, like if you look at the
do it to
academy
all of them. I think she said, so when they were faced with these creatures, she said, they're like doing the same thing that they did last year. They use Blightborns that are failing. But then later Medra said, like, I wish it hadn't been Naveen. I wish that he could have, because Naveen had told her, you either get sent to a high blood house to work as a servant, or you stay there, but you have to work as a servant also. You don't get to complete your education. You don't get to go back home. So it seems like they're just used as chattel afterwards. And like one of your options is potentially being made into one of these creatures.
True. Yeah.
I don't know. It seems, it does seem like cruel for cruel's sake. I don't know. I didn't get it. Like,
but it's part
what's
of
the
what
use
this,
here?
I think it's part of the world, like part of this academy, part of how ruthless that the vampires are. They don't care about anybody but themselves.
Right. And that really comes into focus with this in mind, because up until this point, I was thinking of kind of along the lines of how cruel something might get in like Shadowhunters series. Like that's what this book gives me.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, but again, that's YA and this is not YA.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was like a first real clarifying moment on how dark and how cruel how systemic the cruelty is. And it's just expected,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't have any points that I wanted to bring out because I wanted to see what you guys had to say. The whole dragon thing, every time you guys kept talking about it, I was like, it's coming. I can't tell you. I was like, but they're coming, I promise.
Yeah.
It does suck that there was like literally in the last chapter though.
Yeah. The very end of the last chapter.
Yeah, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Now we know they're a thing and they can be a focus in the sequels.
In the second book, yeah. All right, so that was our 3. Now let's move on to our 2 character beats. Okay. Steph?
So my first one is also from chapter 57 when Cage is talking to Medra. He told Medra that Blake would eventually break her heart and that when that happened, he would be there for her. That ended up happening in chapter 60 when Blake decided to drink from her without getting her consent. So I'm curious if Medra will remember those words and end up, trying to end her bond with Blake and aligning herself with Cage and House of Ari afterwards. I would like to see that. That would be cool.
I'm telling
Yes.
you, whenever like Cage was introduced, I guess he was introduced sooner, but like as he was more of a talking character in our last section, I was like, I
Yeah,
was here for it. I am like Team Cage. I loved it.
right.
Because that moment actually that you're talking about was one of my points too. But mine was more
Okay.
so on how Madra freaking reacted to Cage, like how angry she was for him talking to her. I'm
Yeah.
like, where is this
Yeah.
anger coming from?
That struck me
He's
weird
been
too.
nothing but
Yeah.
kind to her and
Thank you.
honestly respectful compared to the way Blake treats her, respectful
Yes.
towards her.
Yes. It's like,
Yeah.
where's this coming from,
Oh,
Major?
Medra.
Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
It was honestly, this whole situation was giving me Tamlin vibes and Rhysand vibes,
Okay.
because ultimately Feyre Lee spoilers, but you know that whole how that whole situation turns out. Rhysand doesn't enter the
Right.
picture until late in the
Yeah.
first book,
True.
Right.
and Cage feels that way to me, even though we've seen him a couple times. They've been very sparing and very
Yeah.
brief, and so it still feels like Rhysand in that sense. And then Blake, the way he's treating her, feels like Tamlin at the end of their romance. But yeah, it just, those are the vibes it gave me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally see that. Except Medra isn't recognizing these dynamics.
I know.
Okay, so and then my second thing was in chapter 60. So as you know, I'm a dragon lover. And I just wanted to shout out to Nyxaris for the way that he rejected Medra.
Sorry.
I honestly cracked up in this scene. So after he shushed her, he was like, before you move on, don't waste your breath. I will not fall for it again. So you mentioned that earlier, Ethan. I just love that. He like shut her up and he was like, no, I'm leaving.
Here's how this is gonna go.
I'm already loving his personality. It was so funny.
I mean, he's this huge ass dragon. Who's going to stop him?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason you're still breathing, darling, is
Right.
that you freed me. Lucky
Exactly.
you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise you'd be dead.
So, my two moments, Medra. Darling, I was embarrassed for you during this whole situation. This moment with Nyxaris was, I enjoyed it. It was a little cringe at parts. I was like, oh my gosh, Medra, stop talking. He was literally telling you to not waste your time with flattery. So, of course, she just lays it on thicker. And she
Oh, that
keeps
was
on
so
going.
funny.
She's like, I hear you, Nyxaris, okay. And more. Oh,
Yeah.
you want me to be, here I go again.
Here we go.
So, yeah, same questions I was asking earlier. So now that we know what awoke this dragon, are we going to do the same ritual for the others in the dragon court? My real
She
point with
should,
this is,
obviously.
right? We need more dragons. Medra is now the center of attention here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is that Blake's grasp on her may not be as strong as, or recognized really, because this is a new situation that has popped up. And now the other houses might want her assistance in freeing their dragons. And so she's going to be not enemy number one, but, you know, she's going to be front and center in everyone's.
Commodity number one.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. That's a good one.
Okay. Something else that I forgot to mention earlier, since you mentioned Blake's hold on Medra, he talked about their bond being complete because he has drank her blood and she drank his blood. I guess that was like the ultimate completion of their bond. But can that be broken? I wonder if she can still, reject the bond, like Cage mentioned before, or like, is she gonna be able to change her affiliation, I guess?
Well, the way that Cage made it sound is that she had to reject it before the bond was complete. So now that they've drank from each
That's what I was
other,
worried about.
Yeah.
It's done.
Does that mean
And she
can't have
mentioned
two
she could.
bonds?
Oh,
I don't know. That's a good question, actually. I don't know.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
was like, he can't drink from anyone else but her, but that doesn't mean that
But
she's
who
not fair
says
game
she
to other
can't?
people.
Well,
Right?
but
Right,
no,
right.
but nobody can drink from her now either.
says who.
So
I don't remember that part. Okay.
I remember that part.
No, I'm just saying, like, do you die if someone else drinks from
Oh,
her?
I see.
Or, like, is it just against the rules? Because rules can be broken.
Does God frown upon it? Like, does the
Right,
Blood
right.
Maiden frown upon it?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know about that part. Like, I don't know if it's just a law or if something does happen to you physically.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems like something happens to Blake if he drinks from anyone else, but we don't know the other parts.
True.
there.
One thing though, going back to what you guys said about freeing all the other dragons, like, do you want that to happen? Like, do you want to set these dragons
Kind of.
free to on the loose, like
Well,
just let them loose in this
I guess
world?
Medra is gonna have to write another report about dragons and actually learn, I think, before
The people
she.
want to know.
Yeah, well, she's gonna have to do better, obviously. So maybe not right away, right?
I don't know. They're
Because the
scary.
point is for her to bond one, isn't
Right.
it?
I just think that they're scary creatures that you know
Sure,
nothing
yeah.
about. And
Right.
all of a sudden now you want to free four.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably not
I don't
such a
know.
good idea.
I say let's do it.
Ethan's like, let's fuck around and find out.
I know, yeah. Release the dragons. Yes.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, release them.
That's a crazy, man.
Okay. So
Honestly, now I'm on your side. I'm like, you know what?
Just do it.
Let's go for it. Go
let's
big
throw
or go
caution to
home.
the wind.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So, adjacent to the topic of dragons is Orcades. She's my next point. The only reason I'm mentioning Orcades specifically is because she mentioned dreams of feeling as if she were flying somewhere. And so I go back to my original statement I made earlier, but I was kind of joking about at the time, but I was like, maybe it actually holds more merit, is Orcades tied to dragons somehow? In some stories, dragons can transform into humans. Are we leaning in that direction? Is Orcades maybe from this world and she was a dragon? I don't know. My other theory here is that when Medra did the ritual to try to separate them, something got crossed with Nyxaris. And so there could be already a connection there, whether Nyxaris wants it or not. And maybe that's
Yeah.
what's going to necessitate him to come back. But I don't know. Is this all what makes Medra's blood special? This was an interesting event.
Good question.
Right. Well, so Medra has said that her mother is Fae and her dad was not. So she's half Fae.
Yes.
So, but like, did her dad have rider blood or were riders Fae? I
Do you
guess
want
we
me to
don't
tell
know
you
that,
who her
right?
dad is? Yeah, I was like, I can tell you who her dad is.
Well, she said it was King Arthur, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like early in the book at some point, they mentioned her, or either she
yes.
or Katie said,
I forget this
King
involves
Arthur.
Camelot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yes, her dad was King Arthur.
Of course.
But as you were talking, Ethan, I was wondering, like, did the spell, like you said, connect Orcades' soul to Nyxaris, and he's gonna start to feel pulled back to her? Maybe they're gonna have to complete some kind of other spell, maybe to correct it, or either they're just gonna have to be like connected for life.
And the only way to correct it is freeing the other dragons.
Let's go. More dragons.
Let's fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Do
Why
it.
not?
All right, so
So those were my two.
Awesome.
all right, so I did have two that I wanted to touch on. The first one we already talked about. It was, like I said, the way Medra just talked to Cage in chapter 57. It was ridiculous. The second one is just kind of like a general statement about Medra and Blake together. Like, their back and forth gave me whiplash. Like, both of them. Because one minute Blake's professing how he would kill for her and he would do anything for her. And then he gets all cold on her and like basically tells her, like, I can do whatever I want. I can force you to do whatever I want. And the same with Maedra. She's one day talking about how she's wants him and she likes him and, she's willing to forgive him, and then turns around and just completely hates him. Just like,
Yeah.
I
And
love
she's
Russ.
never going to be
I
his.
hate Russ.
I just
I
can't.
love Russ.
Oh my God.
I
Yeah.
hate Russ.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So that was our 2 character beats. And because this is our final episode, we are going to go into our final rating instead of our one theory and or prediction. Then, what was your final rating for this book?
Okay, so I did not love this book. I did not hate this book. This is a solid 3 stars for me. This book was frustrating in some parts. I enjoyed some aspects of the story for sure. What I did not enjoy was the fact that many people in the story were so awful that I lost interest in their arcs because they needed more redemption for me to truly invest by the end of the book. I was Team Blake for a majority of this last section that we read. I was not so much a fan in the others in the 3rd section, but in this last section, I was kind of Team Blake. I was like, okay. And then it was just revealed how awful his decisions were and that he felt like he owned Medra and even like said those words out loud and had belief behind them. So not a fan of Blake by the end of this book, but I don't know. Then I was thinking, well, how is she trying to make a point? Is Briar Boleyn trying to make a point with just trying to prove how truly widespread systemic beliefs like that are in this society? That's quite literally all this society has ever known, or at least that is what we are led to believe. I will continue with the series more than likely because I'm at least curious to see what else comes of the dragons.
Okay.
But I'm going to put it low on my priority list.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fair. Steph, what did you think of the book? What was your final rating?
Okay. So mine was 2.5 stars, mostly because Medra started off strong and I was loving her at the beginning, but I feel like she so easily just let go of her convictions because Blake was hot. Despite all of his constant disregard for her personal autonomy and like out of control possessive behavior over and over, she somehow fell in love with him so quickly after they had that steamy moment, which was also super disturbing. And then and she was actually shocked that he didn't get consent to drink her blood, as if he was getting consent to do any of the cruel things that he was doing to her throughout the book. Excuse me, what? And also, like, there was a lot of focus on trying to make us the reader, believe that Blake was a good guy because he only wanted to drink from people who were willing, except Medra. Like, so that didn't make sense to me. And I felt like there was just so much effort trying to make us believe, oh, he's not bad. He's just playing politics, or, like he's, maybe trying to keep Victor off his back. But like at the end of the day, I don't know. I didn't fall for it. I don't buy that Blake is a good person. I don't like his character. I don't like his personality. I don't like his possessiveness. I don't like his behavior towards Medra. So anyway. And then I was just super disappointed, like I said before, that the dragons didn't come until the very end. And then they were only there really for like half a scene and left. And honestly, like, I don't blame Nixaris for his rejection of Medra. Like, she's not great. I'm also not a fan. So I agree with you, Nixaris. Like, I would have flown with you. And honestly, best character in the book, saw him in the last couple of pages, and now he's gone. So it's just, it wasn't for me, y'all.
So before I share mine, a couple things I feel like defend of this book, because like I obviously was the one that recommended this. When I think of series, like, or when I think of fantasy, we know that these are series, right? We know that you're not going to get all the things that you want out of one book. So
Sure.
obviously with the dragon being at the very end, it's a way to keep you hooked to read the next few books in there. I wasn't disappointed that it was in the end. like I wasn't as disappointed. Obviously, like I read this whole book thinking dragons were going to come as well, but when I got to the end, I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, okay, they're there." She, they were in the stones the entire time, or they
Hmm.
were in the statues the entire time. Like I want to see more. So like that's how I felt at the end of the book. I didn't feel any
Yeah.
negative type of way. And with Blake, I feel like yeah, yes, he was I was back and forth with him a lot. I even said to y'all like that I'm not a huge Blake fan. But I think that him drinking from Madra was him trying to protect her from his uncle and Marcus because they have been constantly talking about how they want her blood, constantly and Victor even dropping hints that he wants to take her for his own. And so like in Blake's mind, he's like, if I don't solidify this bond, he's taking her away from me, and then they're going to be even more cruel to her. They're going to torture her, and they're going to do things to her that I can't save her from. That's what I got from that. I am buying that he's a good guy. Not that he's my favorite character, only because, like I said, there was a lot of back and forth with him and Major. Like in the beginning, I was not shipping this couple at all. So like I get that part, but I don't think that he's as bad as I think other people are making him out to be. Just in the
You can
book's
say it, it's
defense,
me.
yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, just in the book's
And I will
defense,
stand by that.
yeah. I'm
Well, I mean, okay, if that's the case, then we're suffering from the Tamlin syndrome here because she's a big girl. Like she can understand these complex dynamics and you should have the respect enough for her to give her all of the facts, lay them out for her, and let her decide for herself what is done with her body.
yes. So
I rest my case.
that was part of my review was about the whole communication piece. Like, had he told her about this
Hmm.
whole Uncle Victor and what Marcus and them what they wanted to do with her, I feel like yes, she could have had that decision to make for herself where it's like,
Right.
fine, let's solidify this bond so that they don't get to me, right? So like I
Hmm.
totally get you on that. So I gave this one a 4 stars. And the only reason it wasn't a 5 is because I was very conflicted with the characters. So like overall plot wise, I like the plot. I read the prequel, so like I loved seeing that transition
Hmm.
from like, this world in Camelot to like Sangretha. Like it was such a different world. I was loving the complicated vampire politics that they're just so fucked up that it's interesting to
Yeah.
read. And I love that there are dragon riders and that we're going to get more of that legacy and some of the later books. So like I'm really interested in that. What I really was more conflicted about was Blake and Medra, which is exactly what we've been talking about for the last 4 episodes basically, right? Like I want to like Blake. I really do, but I cannot. Like I can see how he's different than his uncle, but he just does not communicate at all. Like he just keeps
Yeah.
everything to himself. If you would just freaking talk to her and her
Right.
and in turn, then like things would be so much better. um and then Madra too, like I like Medra. She's so unapologetically her. She's fierce and demanding, but she also doesn't communicate when it comes to Blake. Like she has all these feelings that she's not willing to share with him either. So
Hmm.
just that's just really
Yeah.
frustrating in any books. I think the three of us agree that miscommunication is one of our least favorite tropes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Totally. And at this point, at this book, it's not even miscommunication. It's no communication, period.
Yes,
Like,
Zero
exactly.
like there is, and I remember thinking that I was like, what the, like there isn't even anything to miscommunicate here. Like,
Right.
Yeah. So
They're
yeah,
all just
so
making assumptions about each other and then treating each other poorly
it's crap. Yeah.
or like property.
Yeah, it's crap. So yeah, so going into the next book, like because this was my rating when I first read it. I'm thinking like, what's gonna happen to Madra? What's now that the
Hmm.
dragon is awake, what's going on with Cage? Like, what are his real motives? Like, how does Florence fit into all of this? Right. So those were
Right.
all some of the things that I was thinking, kind of moving into the next book. But I liked it. I actually really like book 2 more, and I'm actually excited to start book 3 now that we're done with this. So
Yeah.
I want to see what happens because the end of book 2 is huge. That's all I'm gonna
Okay.
say.
oh,
Oh.
interesting.
Yeah. Like some of y'all's big questions in the last few episodes get answered in book 2, and they're very interesting. So that's all I'm
Okay.
gonna say.
All right. Do with that as you will.
Exactly.
Is
Yeah.
it's a very Drew Barrymore statement.
Yeah. All right, book friends, that was the end and our final deep dive of On Wings of Blood by Briar Boleyn. Let's keep the discussion going, though. We want to hear from you guys. We are Books Between Friends Pod on all platforms. Let us know what you thought. Did you like the ending? What was your rating? Are you going to continue the series? Please keep the conversation going. This is our favorite part of doing this. We want to hear from you guys and, just keep talking about this stuff.
All right. So, after everything we just went through, dragons, blood bonds, power betrayal, we're not exactly slowing things down really, because for our next deep dive, we're stepping into a completely different kind of chaos. We're talking survival games, dark humor, and a world where the rules don't just bend, they break. Do we know what we're talking about yet here? We are, of course, talking about none other than Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Denneman.
Yeah.
And trust us, this one is wild in a way we have not experienced on the podcast before. It's fast, it's unpredictable, and it's going to give us a lot to talk about. And I am so excited. So get ready, because things are about to get truly, truly weird with this one.
So good. I'm so excited for that one.
That's a wrap for Books Between Friends today. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next chapter.